Marry your best friend. All right, why do I say that? All right, so I usually spend most of my evenings once I've, put my ladies to bed, and then me and my wife have had some time together, and then she ends up going to bed, and this is kind of prime time for me as I'm winding down. This is when I would usually do the dishes, and so this is where this time frame has become my norm now, and I thought, hey, might as well invite y'all into this world. But usually before then, was blessed enough to get a lazy boy a few years ago from a neighbor, very, very kind neighbor who ended up passing away, but he wanted to leave us, a very nice piece. He kept it in excellent condition, and I'm just super thrilled because on the market it's like $3,500, and just not something we'd ever spend the money on. And it's just wonderful. Just super, super thankful to be blessed in that way. Anyway, so as I spend time in said lazy boy, I just spend time contemplating what I'm going to talk about. And I usually do everything off the cuff. Sometimes I might look up a scripture quickly if it comes to mind. I pray about it, think about it. And each of the things that kind of happened over the past week that I was thinking about talking about all came back to this head, this singular moment in time in which my wife came up to me and she said, "We make a great team." And I remember her saying that in passing, and I was like, that is just such a lovely thing for her to say. It was just so sweet. And I've been thinking about that the past few days as, again, we've gone through some pretty chaotic moments. And I said, man, I gotta spend some time shouting at my wife here. And I know it may not hit well for some of you. Maybe you've come from a bad divorce, a bad relationship. Maybe you're in a tough marriage right now. And I'm definitely not saying that my marriage has always been easy or we haven't had our ups and downs. We've had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of problems. We've each gone to counseling multiple times. I've done way more counseling than her. And, we've gone through the ringer, but, I have to say it, my love, you are fantastic. In so many ways, you challenged me. I was doing actually a kids video series, and one day she just kind of called me out on it and says, she's like, this isn't working. And it hurt real deep. But, she said it because she cared about me. She loves me, and she wants what's best for me. Like, this was all stuff that I was doing on the side. Same like I'm doing this right now. The dad doing dishes. And she supports me to do it, and I'm able to have a flexible schedule, and I'm very, very thankful that she will let me pursue these things that I think other people that I've met in my life would, I guess, kind of disregard or not think too highly of. But anyway, I digress a little bit. So I'll just go through some of those individual moments in time that make being with your best friend so valuable. A lot of people in the world will try to persuade you that it's in your quote unquote sexual life, or it's in the depth of your romance, or it's in the way you look at finances, or the way that you connect on this surreal level. And I could safely say that with my wife, those things happen for sure, but they aren't the pinnacles of marriage. They are the highlights. They're the lovely moments in marriage, but they're not the day-to-day grind. They're not the doing things together, the feeling of accomplishment, or the feeling that someone has your back, which as you get older, it means so much. So let me go into some of those situations. Our daughter was turning two, recently, and we had set up a party for her with all these little other kids, and we were just so happy to have this party for her. It was like her first real party with her own little friends. She's only 2, and it's hard when you're that age to really know other kids and really say so, but she really has locked into these few kids, and we were just excited to have just some kiddos over, some parents, and we really like the parents too, which is a blessing. We learned a little while ago that trying to make your friends and your friends' kids connect with your kids is not the best idea. You know, you can try and let it happen. If it works, fantastic. I'm happy for you. But you know, the kids have kind of got to figure out their friends and figure out the way they connect in the world, and at least that's what we found. So it's nice that that's naturally happened, and the people that we've met that our kids are friends with are lovely, lovely people. So just before, we had set up the day before her birthday, we had set up, making the cake, decorating the home, and just it was just so wonderful. It was like a euphoric moment, the passing on of the torch from what I remember my folks used to do for me, and yeah, we were just feeling just wonderful about it. Just the the beautiful little decorations, the blowing of the balloons, and even having my 4-year-old and my almost 2-year-old being involved in that was just such a brilliant moment in time. But then, sadly, my littlest one started to upchuck, and as she started to upchuck, we were like, this is, she did it twice in one day, and by the second time we thought, okay, well maybe the first time she was choking, but now it's one of those situations where, sadly, she looks like she's also sick. Like the first time when you choke, like kids will choke on all kinds of stuff. If you're not a parent, or even if you are a parent and you haven't had it happen, I've worked with kids for some time, and just kids will just be horking food down too fast and they choke and they puke over all kinds of reasons, sticking their fingers down their throat, whatever it might be. But anyway, I say all that to say that by the second time she threw up and she had a little bit of a sniffles, we basically knew that her birthday party was going to be torpedoed the next day. And that hit like a punch in the gut, because we had planned this thing for some weeks, but we knew that we shouldn't be connecting with other people, especially as they have little infants, and making those kiddos sick too. So we pulled an audible, and we decided to cancel the party. And that night, actually, I was having an interview for a specialized situation, a specialized program. Hey, Joshua, nice to see you on. I'll just be chatting for a little bit, and then I'll definitely talk and chat with you. I'm just going to get through the rest of the stream here, and then I'll have time to chat after. So, that night we had an interesting, unique position as I'm moving into different positions in my life to do different types of social work and help people in vulnerable sectors. And so we had actually a family interview, and it was nutty because she had puked about an hour and a half before, and then she was totally fine. And then we had a fantastic interview. Everything went super well. And then she puked again in the car seat. This time, like she had puked at home before, and it was a one-off because she was choking. And the second time she puked, it was because something was off. Her tummy was off, whatever it was. Like, thankfully we got through the interview. We wouldn't have taken her if we had known this was going to be a recurring thing. And so that meant a late night of cleaning up the car, giving our youngest one a bath, taking care of the oldest one while that's all happening. Usually their bedtime's around 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and it's now 9:30, 10. And I remember, after we had done all that and taken apart the car seat, getting it ready for the laundry, as we have to go downstairs to do our laundry in our building, which really stinks. We were just both pooped, but we totally had each other's backs. We had each other's backs in the situation with the interview. We had each other's backs in the situation when we knew we had to call in and tell our friends that as much as we would like to spend time, and we put all this effort into the birthday party, that we have to cancel. And here we are, nearing, I'd say probably around 10:30, 11, and we're just getting the kids. Sorry, we just got the kids to sleep, and we're just sitting down to watch some TV. We're watching the new and old Scrubs simultaneously, which is quite lovely to watch if you have an opportunity. And There's not too much. There's a bit of sexuality, some innuendo jokes. So if you struggle with that, please don't watch. But if you do, if you don't struggle with that, then please watch. If you do, then obviously please refrain for your own hearts. But yeah, so in just going through all of that, when my wife came up beside me and she just kind of snuggled beside me. She's got her lovely belly right now because she's pregnant with our third kiddo, our son, and she's almost ready to go. She kind of pulled up beside me and she's just like, we're a really great team. We're like great teammates. It was just beautiful. Like I had never really heard that that sentence before from her, and it made me feel great. And I agree with her completely. We had been on the same page on so many levels. We're just in a great rhythm. Our communication is fantastic, and we're just super blessed, super thankful that we were able to talk it through and just work and have each other's backs. And I think that's the blessing about being with my best friend, being married to my best friend, is that there's going to be times in which we have to go the extra mile. There's going to be times when we have to, not say it harshly, but say the tough word to each other. There's going to be times when, things are just not going to work out the way you want them to, and you got to pony up and help each other. And there's going to be times when you just have wonderful joy and you're on the same page with the TV shows you're watching and just the things that you're doing. So I think at the end of the day, if you can find someone, and this is speaking from about 7 years of marriage, like obviously I've been married for 30, 40 years or anything like that, but I have heard this, in the past from many people. It's if you can find someone who is of best friend material, who has your back, who is willing to call you out on stuff, whom has, I think, some of the opposites that you have in your personality types. If you have an opportunity to do like a Myers-Briggs, or you have an opportunity to do a Berkman Grip, or one of those personality tests, it's really good to know where you may compliment someone and where you might be on this same page, or you might even be alike, and that might be a bit of a juggernaut problem. But all I can say is that if you do, or you're in the midst of dating someone, or you're already married, or whatever it might be, try to really cultivate that friendship. Try to invigorate each other in good conversation. Go the extra mile to learn what that other person needs. Because I'm telling you, when you do, life is that much better. Your marriage will be that much better. And all the circumstances and situations that you go through, you have each other's backs. And again, at the same time, you deal with each other's problems if they come up, and you can really just, I think of two fighters in a movie fighting back to back, like against the enemies or the zombies or whatever it is. And that's the way I see my wife and I, is we're able to fight back to back. That doesn't mean that we just started fighting back to back all of a sudden. It actually was because we spent years and years in training. We spent years and years dating, getting to know one another, doing couple counseling as well. And it's very, very worth it. Say you're in maybe a crumbling marriage right now, it's worth going to therapy. It's worth finding other couples to chat with, because your friendship can grow. And of course, not every marriage is going to be a best friend material situation, but you can cultivate that best friend situation. You really can. Because you spend so much time with this person. You have to make the friendship a priority. You have to really lock into what that person enjoys and likes, and learn to like a variation, or learn to like what they like as well, and make it mutual. Like, try to share with them the things that you want to do and the things that you want to see. And I promise you that if you're willing to put in that time put in that energy, that God will bless. God will bless that as He has in our marriage. Now, could something come up that could rock our world? Yeah, for sure. But I can also tell you, we've gone through a heck of a lot. We haven't gone through like the loss of a child or anything, hardcore like that. And I pray to God we never do. But we've gone through the ringer, and it has really helped us to shape us, and it's been such a good challenge for us to overcome in those different areas. And also, just to have this unique opportunity to be in an interview with my wife. Like, how many people get an opportunity to interview with their spouse? Like, that was a really amazing experience. And it just kind of drove home the fact that, there's a scene in Scrubs where one of the surgeons, his name is Christopher Turk, where he has his fiance working beside him, and he hates the fact that he's getting made fun of because she's so proper with the way she does things. But he becomes the best version of himself, the best surgeon he could possibly be. And he ends up realizing it too late. They had a bit of a fight beforehand in the episode, and then when he finds out that she made him into a better surgeon, he tries to get her to come back, and there's a bit of turmoil. But inevitably, she comes back. She fights for the relationship as he asks her to come back, and she swallows her pride, and he's able to get back to his amazing form. And I remember in the interview when my wife had to leave to go deal with our kiddos, I kind of started stumbling a bit for my words, and it all kind of crystallized when she said, we make a great team, that we absolutely do. And I think that's what God means when he shares with us that we become one flesh, that we are one together, that we it takes 2 feet to walk. And if you're not in unison with each other, and you're not one flesh, and you're not communicating with each other, if you both try to step forward at the same time, you're going to fall flat on your backside. So I hope this reaches someone who needs to hear this at some point, whether it's on the stream here or whether it's in replay land somewhere, somewhere out there, somewhere along the way. I just hope that you're able to, see the blessing that marriage could be for you, or that marriage is. And if you're struggling with that, I'll be praying for you. And if you need me to pray for you, please drop it in the comments section, and I would be more than happy to answer you and or any questions that you have about marriage or about life. As I've gone through a fair bit, I've seen a lot, helped a number of couples through some tough situations, and would love to help you to the best of my abilities. But I think that is really and truly what makes a marriage work, is whether you're best friends from the start or whether you try to cultivate that best friend relationship. It is wonderful, and it is very, very much worthwhile. And don't get me wrong, like I have my men best friends, those guys, but it's just a different best friend relationship with your wife, and it's probably even beyond the concept or thought process of a best friend. So as I land the plane here, I just want to remind you that marriage is tough. I'm not just trying to make it sound like it's all wonderful and peachy keen, and we had a great marriage to start. We put in a lot of work, a lot of hardship, a lot of tears, a lot of joy has gone into our relationship. But it's not, but it has been extremely worth it, and I thank God for my wife on a consistent basis. If you'd like to see any more dad doing dishes, just take a look at the playlist right here. If you would like to subscribe, please do that right here. It really helps out. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a wonderful day, evening, morning, or night. God bless you.